going on, family? It's your backyard gardener, and I am in my backyard once again. And today we're going to talk about fruit trees, growing fruit trees, and starting a backyard orchard. These starting a backyard orchard can be done in containers, or it can be done in raised elevated beds, or it can be done directly in ground. But with all three of those methods, there are a process. Amending your soil, prepping your soil, making sure your pH is right, and making sure that you have proper drainage for your fruit trees. Before I start this video, there's two people that I want to mention who inspired me to start a backyard orchard. And this particular person, Suburban Garden, permaculture, Homestead. I saw his garden. He lives in Texas. I saw his garden on YouTube, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he got an orchard, and it's really nice. This is what I want. I immediately got into his little inbox and started messaging him. He messaged right back. He did a video, an update just for me, and I was really grateful. And this is not a huge channel. This is a small channel. So another thing, don't let the size of a channel fool you on what knowledge that you can get from a channel, because we have some small channels like myself that have a wealth of knowledge, and then we got some big channels that can tell you they got a wealth, but it's no proof in the pudding. So another person who has been an inspiration in my backyard orchard is Elder Yehudah. He has a backyard food forest, and he has trees, and he was telling me, he was like, elevate your trees up. It's going to make a tremendous difference. And I did, and it has made a tremendous difference. I have my backyard orchard, and then I have another orchard. And in my other orchard, my trees are in the ground. In my backyard orchard, they're elevated up. You're going to see the difference between the two practices and container grown trees. And I'm going to show you the differences between the three and how they come up. The air quality here is really bad, so if I keep clearing my throat, excuse me. We got a wildfire over in Canada, and it's really affecting Michigan and the surrounding areas right now. So I'm going to flip this camera around, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Right here. This is my peach tree. This is a Red Haven peach tree. I have harvested off of this tree about 3 years, and this tree has been in the ground 4 years. And when I move up a little closer, it's in an elevated box. That way, when I compost or throw my comfrey around it, it's contained to that area. The stalk of this tree is almost busting out of that tubing. So this year I'll be taking it off, which I use to protect the tree. Again, plenty of fruit all over the tree. I have to come out and I have to thin this tree, because thinning your fruit allows the energy to go back to the tree and to grow bigger fruit that's left on the tree. So that's one of the things that we'll be doing with this particular tree. This is a Red Haven peach. Now this is my backyard orchard. This was inspired by Suburban Garden permaculture. And do check his channel out. I'm going to put the link to both of these channels down below. This tree is 3 years old. People who have been rocking with me knows that I put this orchard, which was really an alley, and I made it into an orchard. And I'll try to put the link below of that video so that you can go back and watch it from the beginning. 3 years old. This is a Santa Rosa. This tree was a little whip. It wasn't no bigger than this bush right here. And look how big the root of that tree is. Elevated raised beds. I wish I could say, guys, elevated raised beds is my idea, but it's not. I got this from Elder Yehudah, and it did not fail. It did not fail. You have to look at the base of that tree. That tree is rooted, planted, and it ain't moving. And it is also full of fruit. Look at all those plums. Everywhere. Now, this is the first time that I've gotten fruit in this abundance from this tree. The very first time. Let's move over here. I can't go too close because my bees is busy today for some reason. This right here is an Asian pear. 3 years old. Look at the stalk of that tree. 3 years old. And it's got fruit on it. I don't know if you can see it again. I don't want to get too close because I ain't sewed it up. And the bees is doing a bee thing. Right here, this tree is about 2 years old. And it was a little whip. And someone commented, you should probably put that in a pot first. And that was after I put it in the ground. So I was like, well, it's in the ground. I'm going to leave it. And I did. So, but it's doing fine. It's the pollinator for that Asian pear tree. Now, let's go to over here. This tree is 3 years old. And it's in a container. Actually large container. This is an apple tree. Now, this tree gave me an abundance of fruit last year. This year, not so much. It did bloom, but I think we had a late frost and it kind of knocked the blooms out. So I think that's maybe what's going on. But I think I'm going to move this over into my other orchard and put it in the ground. If I can get a couple of men to lift this up on a dolly and relocate it. It makes a tremendous difference, guys. Look how small that is. And it's the same age as that tree, and that tree. Now, you may say, well, backyard gardener, it's a different type of tree. It's an apple tree. Pear trees are more girthier, or peach trees are more vigorous than apples. I'm going to take you over to my orchard, and I'm going to show you the trees over there. And let's see if we have that same result. But before I go, let me show you over here. This is Italian plum, which is the pollinator to my Santa Rosa plum. This tree also has fruit. And this is the first year I got fruit. Now, this tree is, I believe, 2 years old. It may be 3. So right here is my cherry tree. It's 4 years old as well. 3 years old, I'm sorry, as well as the rest of the trees over in the orchard. And that one's in the ground. And it's got a nice little thickness to its root as well. But the difference is preparation, elevation, and irrigation. Also, putting that irrigation on here was the best suggestion that I have gotten in years. And it also saves me time from coming out on those 90-degree mornings that I know I don't want to come out here. But knowing that my trees have gotten watered, I'm good. Later on that evening, I come out and check on them because I do like to walk through my garden and check on my garden quite often. But just think about some things as you start to plant your fruit trees, or if you're starting entertaining of getting an orchard or just a fruit tree, period. It can be done in pots, depending on the size of the tree, if it's a dwarf tree. But that apple tree I showed you in the pot is a dwarf. That Santa Rosa is a dwarf. It's going to be a big difference. Will it produce fruit? Absolutely. If you got the right preparations for it, and if you have the irrigation. Because if you're not going to be dedicated and come out and water your garden every day, walk your garden every day, you're going to miss some things that you probably could have saved ahead of time. This is your backyard gardener coming to you with a video saying elevation, preparation, and irrigation will make the world of difference in your fruit trees. Backyard garden. Have a wonderful day.